Former DG of Water Affairs and National Planning Commissioner and Professor at the Wits School of Governance, Professor Mike Muller joins us now. Prof, a very good afternoon to you. Thanks very much for your time. I'm looking at words from a statement that Rand Water released. It says, quote, "Unfortunately, the crisis we have sought to prevent has now materialized," close quotes. That sounds scary.
It does indeed. Afternoon to you, for you and to your viewers. It's a hot afternoon, isn't it?
Yeah. But, I mean,
Look,
if it could have been prevented, why was it not prevented?
Well, you know, I said to your producer, it's a pity we couldn't get the first Deputy Secretary General, Nomvula Mokonyane, on the program, because she actually is part of the problem. When she was the Minister of Water and Sanitation, she delayed the Lesotho Highlands Water Project Phase 2 by about 5 years. You know, if that project was running, we would have even more water available than we need at the moment. And you know, we've got to attribute responsibility, and she has to take some responsibility for that. The other thing that she also did, though, she spent 3 billion rand of unauthorized funds to help reduce water leaks in the country, in our municipalities. And as far as I'm aware, there's been no evidence ever shown that that 3 billion rand actually reduced any water leaks. So you see, those are the two big problems that we're facing. The Lesotho Highlands Water Project, which will bring more water into Gauteng in general, that's 5, 6, 7 years late. The efforts to reduce water loss from the municipal pipes has also, we've thrown a lot of money at it from the national government, and it hasn't been very successful. So now municipalities are scratching and scrimping and trying to improve, but they're not having great success. So we've been hit from both sides. We don't have as much water as we want coming in, and we're losing still too much water through leaks as that we can't afford. Plus, when it gets hot, everybody uses more water, and that just aggravates the problem. So it's a perfect storm, except it's not raining.
Does that mean necessarily, Prof, that day zero is definitely going to come? In other words, there's no possibility. It's settled.
No, look, you know, day zero in Cape Town was very clear. They just did not have water in their dams to even maintain a minimum flow. I mean, they were cutting down. People weren't allowed to use more than a bucket a day, 50 liters per person per day. They were really cut back because they were short of water. We've got probably at the moment 4 times more water per person than Cape Town had on day zero, but we're using 5 times more. You know, and when I say we're using, it's a combination of municipalities losing the water through leaks, and I have to say unauthorized connections and people who not build, but also us as users, frankly, we just take water for granted. If it's there, we use it. And we really have to now, for the next, well, hot months, take it easy and cut back on our water use, even if the garden gets a bit wilted and the grass goes brown.
How easy or difficult is it going to be for municipalities to then, enforce what they are being asked to do?
Well, you know, it's very difficult for municipalities to go door to door and check what's happening behind those closed doors. And also, you know, even if you read the meter, you don't necessarily know how many people are in the household. You know, are they using too much? Are they using too little? So we had an argument because there's a lot of work being done behind the scenes to try and fix this. And there was an argument the other day as to whether we should send the municipality bailiffs in. And if people are using too much, we look at the bill and just tell them they're using too much. And if they don't stop, we cut them off. And the advice from Cape Town, because we have someone who was quite successful in managing that Cape Town crisis, she said, look, you don't get it by sort of administrative police means. You've got to encourage people. And then every now and again, you've got to make an example of, if you find somebody really wasting water, the mayor must go knock on the door with a bunch of people behind them and tell them that if they don't stop right now, they're going to be cut off for the next month. And that combination of encouraging people to be more careful and occasionally enforcing by political action much more than administrative action was what's helped Cape Town. But they also did an awful lot of work to improve their distribution networks, to fix the pipes, to fix the leaks. And we don't seem to be able to keep up that pace, either on the user side or on the municipality side.
But are your Rand Waters playing their part in terms of maintaining infrastructure?
Well, Rand Water's job is, I sometimes will tease them. They've got the easy job. They take the water out of the river, which it's brought to them through dams, which are run by the Department of Water and Sanitation. They're told how much they can take. They take it out and they treat it. They do a very good job of treating it so it's clean and safe. And then they put it into big pipes and they send it to the municipalities. And the trouble starts there because they've told the municipalities how much those municipalities are supposed to be using. And the municipalities quite often just ignore that advice and take as much as they can. Then what you find is that Rand Water's reservoirs begin to run down. These are reservoirs that go up and down every day. And when that happens, Rand has actually got to say, well, look, if you don't want to run out of water, you better stop taking so much out of our reservoirs because you're taking far more than we've agreed and that we know is available. And you're just going to end up not being able to provide to your users. And that's what the municipalities are finding. They're finding that there's a lot of water that they're taking out of their reservoirs. They tell us, oh, the reservoir's falling. Well, they've allowed it to fall. They haven't stopped people from using. They haven't reduced the leaks. And they now have no choice but to close the tap and wait till it fills up again. So I think for the next few weeks, we're going to have a very uncomfortable time until it starts raining properly, because then all the gardeners will stop using water and we'll have some more. But it would be nice if people could really try hard to reduce their water use, really give up on the garden for the next few weeks, and don't waste water in places where you don't need to. There's lots of savings we can make. But the municipalities must play their role. They must also chase the people who take water, don't pay for it, take as much as they want, and the rest of us are prejudiced by that. So control of illegal water use by the municipalities is important. And that includes control of buildings. And I think probably you find government buildings are amongst the biggest water wasters in the cities. But we've got to go to every door and find out where's the water being wasted, what can we do to reduce that use. And then there's actually plenty, as that Rand Water spokeswoman was saying, there's more than enough water to supply the people of Gauteng with at least as much as anyone else in the world gets. Why do we want to take more, particularly when things are stressed as they are at the moment?
Professor Muller, thank you very much for your time.